Hi, this is a presentation about Julie S. Vargas. My name is Lori Cross. This is class EDSE 619 with Dr. Cohen. Dr. Julie Vargas made waves in her accounts of applied behavior analysis. She revolutionized and opened the eyes of educators. Not only is she the daughter of one of the founding fathers of behaviorism, B.F. Skinner, but she developed a directive for teachers and classroom dynamics that allowed children and learners to develop in a positive and growing way. Vargas was best known for her addressing the underlying issues that occurred in the school systems, the adversive and negative contingencies that inhibit many learners from actually developing, learning, and having social skills, social and peer skills. She understood that the behavioral stimuli that comes from teachers and the overall learning and educational functionality that both need to be within a positive reinforcing method. If teachers are treated more with positive outlooks, reinforcement, and support, then children will have the same support systems. They will develop and learn and emulate what is being taught through the positive behavior supports. The contribution to literature. She developed a greater portion in education and teaching fields. The need is highly great within the education system, and Dr. Vargas understood that. She knew that there was a great need that needed to be developed, and that children, not only through the engaging of motivation and positive supports, but the emphasis of important learning-based behavioral principles. This was regarding steps to be the most effective with outcomes. She also developed, better tactics that came from communication deficits. It was more of understand how can we create a bridge? How can we develop to where there is no more gap in the communication? Because in the school system, when there is a gap in communication, children become, or learners become, frustrated. There is no technique that helps them learn. She had implemented single research designs that educational setting and professional avenues should follow in order to be the most effective within behavior analysis in the schools and education. If I did have the chance to speak with her in an interview, I would ask her questions pertaining to, what did your father teach you? What was most important that he ever taught you about applied behavioral analysis? Did you ever think that your research, was it mainly focused within the school, students learning, or did it expand into communities? And then most of your work focuses in a school setting. Why? And then, another question I find important is, Dr. Vargas, do you think that teachers were treated with positive behavior supports would more likely treat students better as well? And then, Dr. Vargas, what do you feel was your greatest accomplishment in this field of behaviorism before you had retired? These are questions I would love to have the answer to. So, she was best known for the foundation of her father, which is B.F. Skinner Foundation for Behavioral Sciences. She was also known for her continuation and the importance of learning-based behavioral principles regarding the steps, creating both behavioral and structural dynamics. In addition to stopping a barrier of community verbal communication deficits, and that's with using tax and demand, so the labels, demands, all within applied behavioral analysis. She also expanded within the education system of no child learns the same, that every child learns differently, and it's important to understand how do they learn, and that behavioral stimuli, positive reinforcement, and contingencies can add to overall learning and education functionality, that there's a great need, a proportionary need to education and teaching fields, that punishment must stop within the schools, positive behavior supports must be implemented. In turn, she also did increase many board members, psychologists, individuals to become part of applied behavioral analysis, to further be successive in approximation for developing new learning behaviors. Here are some of her works that she did do. It's behavior analysis for effective teaching, a behavioral approach to teaching of composition, contributions of verbal behavior. The road less traveled is where she did this simple study of how many individuals switch professions, or how many professionals had decided that applied behavioral analysis was really what needs to be implemented in education systems. And not just in education systems, it was more or less of individuals and community systems as well. She also talks about instructional design flaws in computer-assisted instruction, how some individuals, through behavior stimuli and particular contingencies, can focus better in a computer-based instead of in-person-based due to the environmental behaviors. Why is her work important? Because she forever changed the field of education. She made it to where our school systems and teaching academics and education of others, to where there weren't as many underlying issues, to where positive behavior supports and communication gaps reduced the common behaviors associated. Because of her tax, because of her demands, because of all the positive behavior supports, reinforcement, and positive contingencies without punishment, the attitudes and learning grew substantially. In turn, she eliminated negative contingency and aversive effects, increased learners' motivation, and help inspire their needs by focusing upon the individual's strengths. And her single research designs enhance behavioral terms needed that shape the future for positive directions in educational areas. Thank you. These are the references I used, and this has been a presentation on Dr. Julie Vargas. I hope you enjoyed.